this new feature is going to save me $5,000 a month. Here's a story in just a minute here. Basically, we're launching SEO flows today. And real quick story about this. Just before ChatGPT launched, I was in final negotiations with a company that was going to run our SEO for us. $5,000 a month was actually very reasonable because before ChatGPT launched, that was about the minimum price to get in with a good SEO company. And that was going to buy me maybe 6 pages. They were going to write 6 pages on a folder on our primary domain that were going to be authoritative pages and things like that. It was going to be very nice. And they were going to do some off-page stuff like solicit people to link to us. But $5,000 a month is a lot of money. And literally, I had the contract in hand. I was reviewing it. And within a day or two of that, I received notification from a company called OpenAI, who I've never heard of, that they had just launched this thing called ChatGPT. And it became very clear that I should not sign this contract yet until I researched it and found out more about it. So long story short, I put a hold on that contract and I never signed it because I knew that someday I was going to be able to use this technology to redo all of our SEO. I haven't done it yet, full disclosure, but now that I have this tool, I am 100% going to do it because I basically wrote this tool with our company in mind because I knew that this same technique would work absolutely wonderfully for any company. And what I love about the strategy that's baked into this is that it basically does not upend everything you're doing. If you've got a great blog that's ranking, fantastic, this will help you. If you have a website that's already ranking well, fantastic, this will help you with that too. It helps you with on-page, off-page, but most importantly, the core strategy behind this is something that is very unobtrusive. It kind of sits on a folder on your domain and just continuously gives it SEO juice to help you rank without disturbing the flow of your other assets. So basically, the way this works is very similar to what companies like HubSpot do to get on top of the search rankings. It's called topic clustering, and a topic cluster basically takes something called a pillar page, which is like a main topic, and then it creates articles as subtopics. So there's a nice hierarchy, and all of these clusters sit together with a topic page at the top. For HubSpot, for example, its advertising would be their pillar page, and then they would have a whole series of articles written for that particular topic. So that's what we're going to be doing. What our system is going to do is we actually create 10 pillar pages for your company. And then within each one of those pillar pages, we're going to create 10 articles, which you can also consider as a blog. The pillar page is also a blog page. And then under that, you've got 10 sub-blog pages that all feed into the pillar page. Pillar page is going to link to all of these 10 articles, and the articles will all in turn link back to the pillar page. And you should also include, maybe in the footer or somewhere, a link to your primary website as well. But outside of that, do not link outside of your content clusters. The reason for that is SEO, all the search engines love these. It's a very easy to digest way of providing a ton of content, and the internal links back and forth make it very clear to them that these are all related topics, and it makes you look really great because now you've got like a hierarchy of content within a given topic. So that's how this program is going to work, and I'm going to show you how to use it. There's some other tools built in. Even if you don't believe in topic clusters, there's other ways to use this to optimize your SEO, like even your existing website. We can maybe rewrite things that include certain keywords. We're also going to do keyword research. It does it all. So let's jump right in and get started. So first thing we do is click Start Writing. That's going to launch whatever your chatbot of choice is. And remember, you can now select that. We use ChatGPT. I highly recommend using ChatGPT for this. Google Bard is okay. It does use more current information, while ChatGPT uses information that's a little over a year old, but they have cached enough content where they still give really great results, even for the keyword research. And Google Bard just isn't there yet as far as just the comprehension of what you're looking for. They seem to go off base. Like, whoa, that's not what I asked for. Claude is absolutely fantastic. It's actually Claude 2. So that does a great job too. It's a little slower than ChatGPT, and I didn't like the results quite as much. But if you want to try something different, or if ChatGPT is super busy where you live, the server, go ahead and try Claude. It also does a great job. I use ChatGPT also because I use ChatGPT Plus. And when you have that upgrade, the $20 a month upgrade, it does an even better job at SEO writing. But I found 3.5 to be fantastic. It is almost as good, and it's way faster. So just make sure you go in here, make sure your company profile is up to date. We're going to use our good old test account charge caps, which is a hat that has solar charging built in. So we're going to optimize the website for this. Industry, mobile phone chargers. Make sure this industry is detailed because we will integrate this into your prompts. Describe your products. This is very important. We will integrate this into your prompts. So what you write here will affect the outcome of your SEO project. When you're done, click Save. So this is the SEO flow. You'll notice that there's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do a quick audit of your website. We are going to do a quick keyword worksheet. And what this does is this is going to run through and recommend all of your topic pages. It's also going to generate a spreadsheet for you that is going to be an SEO worksheet showing you things like volume, and we'll get into that and why it's important. And then we're going to write the SEO content for your Learning Hub, which is basically your topic cluster content that's going to be written for you. The step 4 is optimizing any existing assets you have, like if you have website and blog pages and you've done all this great keyword research, well, now you probably want to infuse some of those keywords, including the long tail keywords, into your existing site, and this allows you to do that section by section. So it's not going to ruin the flow and the look of your website, and I'll show you about that in a minute. Off-page SEO, it's going to give you a nice strategy for reaching out to people to have links back to your site. That is also extremely important in the SEO world. And not only is it going to give you the strategy with a list of 10 recommendations, but you'll be able to drill down into each one of those recommendations, and it'll do it for you. It'll actually write the emails that you send to these people and give you instructions on how to go find influencers in your space. With no further ado, let's jump in. So just like with the last flow that we did on starting a business, flows work a little differently. Yes, you can use individual modules, but I want you to go through all 5 steps of the flow before you start jumping in and doing ad hoc work. The reason for that is flows are designed to build on the previous step. And you know it's a flow because on the next screen, you'll see that it says, okay, it's time to go to the next step. It's really written as a process versus an ad hoc, get it done. Once the task is done, you can leave. So let's go through all of them. Believe it or not, it's really not that difficult. And this system uses very, very little input from you, and it does a great job. And the main reason for that, it's not going to rely too heavily on your existing website. And the reason for that is a lot of people are just starting out, and you want to be able to use this when you're just starting out. So fortunately, the topic clusters strategy relies more on what your industry is, what your product is, and most importantly, what your target audience is and what they are searching for. And ChatGPT has a great database of that. So if you used us to create your business, using that business starting assistant tool, fantastic. If I were you, I would even literally go back to the thread where you created your business. So it already knows a ton about what you're trying to accomplish and what your avatar is and all that good stuff. If you haven't done that, that's okay. That's what this screen is for. This is going to ask us a little bit about your website and your target audience, so we can just tell it here. The first step is an audit, so you're going to want to read everything. It's very important that you read the details when you're doing a flow, because a misstep here can affect all of the future steps. So I'm going to tell it our website and our target audience. Be as detailed as you can. You don't need to give a full avatar, but I do want to tell it what it's looking for is intent. What is your target audience likely to be searching for in the highest volume? And it's also going to factor in things like competition. So it's not going to pit you up against the highest competitor in the space. It's going to pit you up against, second or third tier people, so you have a chance at ranking for the keywords. So the target audience for Charge Caps, let's just say it is young, urban professionals who love gadgets and love the environment or the environmental benefits of solar charging over using fossil fuels. So I'm just trying to give it things to really attach to. So that way it can kind of generate an idea. Okay, here are some angles we can take. I think I've given it enough. I would like you to spend more time here, but this is just a demo. Notice that this defaults to off. I would not change any of these defaults for the calls to action or things like that. We already set up the defaults to be perfect for what we're trying to accomplish. So just a reminder, we automatically copy everything into your clipboard, so you never need to click the blue box. It's just there so you can see the prompt. And I'm going to do GPT 3.5 because it's so much faster. And like I said, it does a fantastic job. So this is going to go through and it's going to generate an audit. The audit will contain two main sections. The audit results, so you'll want to read these over. This is mainly for our... I don't take this too much into account. This is mainly for our agencies that are looking to have a nice, audit that they can include in their report that they give to people. The main thing that I use this for is the recommendations. So this is kind of like a checklist of 10 things that you'll want to focus on doing. So each one of those, you don't have to do this. Like, this is enough. You can move on. But what I'm going to do is click one, and what that will do is drill down on this first recommendation. It wants us to do keyword research, and I want to learn more about that. I think one sentence isn't enough. I don't understand it, so you could just click one, and it's going to give you more information. It's not going to do the whole keyword research for you, but it's going to give you a deep dive into what this means, so you can read that over and understand it a little more if there are any of the recommendations you don't understand. Also, optional refinements. There are a lot of really great refinements in the SEO flow. So let me just run through those really quickly because you can use them on any one of the 5 steps. You can create a prompt that doesn't really apply to this step, but it will later for sure. We now have a separate one for ideogram.ai, which is a fantastic free image generator that's a lot easier to use than Midjourney. But if you are advanced and you use Midjourney, we create a prompt for that as well. You can convert any of the content we generate to SEO optimized HTML format, or WordPress Gutenberg, or WordPress Classic Editor, whichever one you use. It'll help you convert that into SEO optimized code. Or you can just convert it into text if you don't like what it says and you want to change it to text. By default, we actually use text, so you should not need to use this unless you're looking to revert back. Create keyword research definition and use document. That's going to be very helpful in the next step. And convert this to Markdown format. You should not need to do this, but if you have like a word processor that loves Markdown, you can convert it to Markdown too. But by definition, the text that we generate will have some formatting. And that's it. I'm going to say done and move on to the next step. Here's where we create our keyword worksheet. Leave empty. Literally, you can skip past all of this, but I would like you to read this because it explains what we're doing. So let's plug this in. First thing it's going to do is create all of your pillar pages. Read these over. If any of these are really off base, you can actually go in and say, like, I don't like 6, replace 6 with another one and generate the list again, or something like that. But you'd be surprised. It actually does a really good job, and it is being very thoughtful as to what the SEO objectives are. So these are basically going to be the main sections of our Learning Hub. Solar phone chargers, outdoor solar charging, and what it's also giving me is the page title tag and the meta description SEO optimized for these actual pages that we will be writing later. And once we're done with this, the next step we'll read here. This will generate your subtopic page keywords. Click the number of the pillar page you like, then paste it into the chatbot, then click the next one you like, etc. I recommend you create all of these. So we're going to start with 1. I'm not going to do that for the demo, but I'll show you just how easy it is. So what this is going to do is generate a spreadsheet in semicolon separated values. We've done this very specifically because comma separated values give some issues with, the world's most popular spreadsheet, which happens to be Google Sheets. It strips out some of the quote delimiters and things like that when you use comma separated values. So we use semicolon separated values for this reason. Watch how easy this is. I'm going to click copy code, and let's actually go do this. I don't mind jumping into our test Google sheet. And I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to create a CSV. So I'm going to just paste. And what will happen is you'll see a little hover here. And there's instructions that are provided in the chatbot, but I'm going to show you how directly. Just click split text to columns. And then for the separator, I'm going to use semicolon. And look at how clean this is. Now we have a complete keyword research just for the main topic of the solar chargers. And look at all of these different keywords it's going to create. So these are the long tail keywords, basically, also called subtopic keywords that will live within the topic cluster of that main pillar page. And we're going to create 10 of these. So let's jump back to where we were by minimizing this. And I'm going to click 2 and just show you how easy it is to create another 10 for the second pillar page. So now we have a second grouping of 10 subtopic keywords. If you're in SEO, you're probably losing your mind right now because the amount of time it takes to research all this is just astronomical if you don't have a really expensive tool already. And this allows you to do it at a very, very low price. So I'm going to jump back into the spreadsheet and I'm going to add the second one. Let's convert this. So I'm going to go through some of these columns. It's going to generate not only that long tail keyword for your article, it's also going to create a keyword intent. And a lot of these are transactional. Some of them are informational. This is just kind of like more of a nice to know versus a need to know. So what this means is the person that searches for keywords called solar charging for camping, there's a good chance that these guys have transactional intent. These are your most valuable keywords, because those are the people you want to snag with your content because they will all have a link to your sales page. Relevant score, this is just showing that it's highly, highly relevant. Let me expand this a little bit. Search volume, you want high search volume in these. So, the ones that say 3,200 are going to be more important than 1,800. Just know that the search volume is over a year old, but it is based on data that was amassed during the last update of ChatGPT. Keyword difficulty, what this means is this is mainly competition. If it has a high level of difficulty, that means there are a ton of competitors that already rank for this. And it will be more difficult. It will take longer to rank, but eventually you will if you use this entire technique. The title tag, this is the title tag of your content page that you create for this particular article. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. And it also gives you a meta description for that particular page. And let's see here. So social media hashtags are included. And let's see here. I'm also going to have a map to URL. Map to URL is empty because this is where you will paste the final URL when you generate. Like, let's say you hand all of this off. What I'm going to do is hand this off to my virtual assistant to actually take these pages and paste them into my WordPress site. I'm not going to do it within my blog. I'm going to create a new WordPress instance right off of my primary domain called Learning Hub. So it'll be, my domain /Learning Hub / and then I'm going to have the hierarchy of my pillar pages. And after the pillar page, I'm going to have another / another subfolder for each one of these articles. So once I create those URLs, just to keep track of everything, I created a column for you guys called Map to URL. What you could also do with this, if you have existing pages that already talk about slower charging efficiency on your blog, you could also, just keep this in mind, you could map to that as well. I honestly don't recommend it. I prefer just having a totally separate learning center. So not only do the search engines not get confused, but also people don't get confused when you map out to existing content that maybe is on a blog or somewhere else. So this is where you keep track of everything, and this is what we call a worksheet for that reason. So I'm going to minimize this now. You're going to continue this for all 10 of these. And we've already done a couple, so what I'm going to do now is move on to the next step. What I could do is go down here to create the research definitions and use document, just so I have a nice document that helps me and my VA understand like how to use this. And everything I just described is given in detail for each one of these columns. Now I'm going to move on to the next step, which is to actually write fresh content. And believe it or not, you literally don't even need to give it any input. You can jump to the next step. It's going to give you instructions on what to do. I'd like you to read these over. It kind of reminds you about making sure you include links in all of this content back and forth from the topic page to each one of your articles, and then back. Your articles need to have links back to the topic page. That creates the cluster for you. So notice that this one prompts you. Click the one button to write the first pillar page. So what's going to happen here is each one of these numbers represents one of your pillar pages. And what's going to happen is it's going to first create, and I'll show you this, it's going to first create your pillar page, and then it's kind of auto-magically going to create all 10 of the articles one at a time, and all you need to do is type the word yes in between. So here is your complete pillar page written for you, and it gives you those title tags again and meta description. So solar phone chargers, and then it's going to ask you, be sure to read this, like this tells you what it is. And when you're ready, we can proceed to write the articles. Just let me know when you're ready to continue. Just keep typing yes one at a time and let it continue. So right now it's going to create the first long tail keyword subtopic page. So this will match up with that spreadsheet that we created. So I'm going to say yes. And now it'll write the second one. And remember, these correspond to the rows of that semicolon separated spreadsheet that you created. So just go through and just keep saying yes until all 10 of these are created. So what you can also do in between, like when you've created all of these, you can actually create those images like for your pillar pages and things like that. So once you've created the 10, you can go in and request a either if you use the let me point it out here, the image generator ideogram or Midjourney, it'll create the title image for that main article, and you can actually use that image for all of the articles under the topic page. Maybe just add this to the topic page as well, so you have this one kind of unified header image for those particular Learning Hub pages. So that might be a good time to do this. I'm not going to create all 10 because, like I said, this is just a demo. So let's move on to the next step. The next thing you would want to do is optimize any existing web pages and blog pages. Like personally, like this is enough for most people. Like you're going to be able to skip the optimize existing pages if you're a brand new company. If you already have pages that are ranking well, you would even still want to rewrite existing pages. But so only spend time on this if this makes sense for your particular company. If you're brand new and haven't written a website yet, you'll want to go and focus on that and get your learning hub going. But you could pass this on to your VA right now. And the way you do this, let me just show you. At the very top now in ChatGPT, there's a little button here. And what this does is it shares a link. So you can actually copy this link and it will share all of this, even if they don't have like a GPT Plus account and you created this in GPT Plus, it will allow them to see the entire conversation. And that's where you can provide instructions for them to just get to work on creating your learning hub. Really important to get that started. And once you've kind of taken care of that, it's time to go back and start rewriting pages of your existing website. So basically, this is done on a keyword basis. So let's say you decide that your homepage is going to really focus on, cell phone chargers that use solar. So I'm going to say solar cell phone chargers. And this is where you'd want to go back to your keyword research and decide on one for your particular page, for each of the particular pages. And then what we've done here, you want to paste each of the sections because websites tend to be written in sections and you don't want to just paste your entire website here because what's going to happen is ChatGPT is going to, it might kind of overlap sections if you do that. What we're going to force it to do in our prompt is to keep the sections separated. So all of the visual separations that you've done and maybe any images that represent that section will remain intact. So like, for example, the main header of your website probably has some clever like headline and subhead. Paste that in section 1. And then the next section where it starts drilling down into your products more, paste that right here. And when you're done with that, it's going to generate all new sections for you one by one. So for this one, I don't have a Charge Caps website. So I'm going to say a solar charger that you wear on your head. And for section 2, I'm going to say the best solution for campers and anyone who spends time outdoors! Exclamation point. So once you're done with all of your sections, you're going to delete the rest of these prompts. And I'm going to get to work. So what this will do is rewrite those sections for me. Okay, so read what it says here. It's ready to help you optimize. Please let me know which numbered section you want me to rewrite first, and we'll proceed from there. So you can do up to 10 sections. So I'm going to start with the first one. So it's going to rewrite that main header page or header section. And then number 2 will rewrite that first paragraph. The ultimate solution for campers and outdoor enthusiasts. So that is how this one works. And if you want, you can, of course, prompt it, an optional refinements to rewrite this in HTML format, or if you use WordPress, into WordPress format as well. So when you're done with this, I'm going to move on to the last step, which is off-page SEO. Again, it requires no feedback from you. Because this is a flow, we've already provided it with a ton of information in the previous prompts about your business, so it doesn't really need to know anything more at this stage. So let's generate that off-page strategy document. This is going to have a list of recommendations. And like I said before, the nice thing about this is it's actually going to allow you to execute on these. So let's take this first one, guest blogging on relevant websites. I can click 1, and it's going to drill down and actually make it way easier for me to execute on that first one. So implementing guest blogging, step 1, identify relevant websites and all of these things. So right here where it says step 4, craft an outreach email, now I'm able to just copy this and literally paste it into my email software and get to work. So you can merge in any information you have in your database about the people you're reaching out to, and then follow up and best practices. So it's really helpful for you to get started on your off-page SEO. Do not overlook this step. Even if you have a great learning hub, you want to start reaching out to other people to get more links back to your website and your learning hub as well. So I hope this has helped you guys out. When you're done with this, do not forget to give this to somebody who can actually implement it. If that's you, carve out some time. SEO just takes time. Even though a lot of your content has been written for you, you would certainly want to go through these and maybe add some meat to them, or maybe add some images to them, maybe add some statistics. If you don't have time to write or to create these 100 pages, I understand. Use the topic pages as all of the pages, maybe as like blog posts would be another place to start. At least you'll have 10 really, really hyper relevant blog posts. And then when you have more time, you can start creating those subfolders that you can link to from those initial 10 blog posts to create some more subfolder topic pages as well. So if you guys have any other questions, you can always reach out to us in chat as always, and I hope you enjoy implementing your new SEO strategy. We will 100% be doing this for our website very soon.